guys, it's Izzy here, and I'm starting this video at a really awkward angle. Like, I'm not sitting down, I'm standing. I'm using a different camera just because I need to take a thumbnail. But I am doing an ancestry, I'm finding out my ancestry through 23&Me. So I am taking a DNA test today. I'm going to ship it off to North Carolina and see what my results are. So here is our box. I already did the thing where you spit into the tube, and I didn't record that because spitting is one of the things that grosses me out so much, like it makes me want to throw up. Like seeing other people do it, and then just the thought of spitting grosses me out. So I didn't show that, and I did it before I brushed my teeth, because you're not supposed to eat for 30 minutes, brush your teeth for 30 minutes, drink for 30 minutes. So I did it right time I woke up because I had already been asleep for like, I don't know, like 10 hours or something. So I knew that my mouth could do it. So I did that. We have our little box right here, and I am going to take it to the post office and send it to Burlington, North Carolina. So my grandma actually already did one of these tests because I was too scared to, and then that she did it, I was like, oh my gosh, I really want to do it, so I could get $20 off because this is my second kit that I'm buying. So I know I'm at least 25% of her DNA, so I have a pretty general idea. It's going to be like British, Irish, Swiss, and German, and then she had like 6% Scandinavian, so I don't know if I'll get any of that. And then there were like smaller percentages for Spanish and Portuguese, Balkan and Greek, that kind of stuff we're doing. And I may have some French as well, because I do know some French names that are my ancestry. That's on my other side, so that's why she wouldn't have that. But I don't know what I'm gonna get, but we will find out. And it took her about 2 weeks to get it. It's only going to Burlington, which is maybe 2 hours from here, like 100 miles. So let's see. Okay guys, so I got my DNA back today. So as you all saw at the start of the video, I took my DNA test on October 9th, and I got it back on October the 19th. So it only took me 10 days. It was telling me it'd be ready in November, but that was not the case at all for me. So I have already seen my results before I filmed this. I wasn't going to film my reaction or anything, because I was pretty sure what I was going to get, and I pretty much got what I thought I was going to get. So here is the homepage for 23&Me. I'm not going to do these research questions on here, but you see you have ancestry, composition, traits, DNA, relatives, family tree. Now I'm not going to be showing the DNA, relatives, or family tree just because that's people's last names and pictures and that kind of stuff, and I don't know if they would want to be in my YouTube video. So we are going to go to the ancestry tab right here. So here you can see I'm not all blue, so I'm not all European. So ancestry composition, your DNA tells the story of who you are and how you're connected to populations around the world. So you can see some of them right there. We're going to click right here, view your ancestry composition. And here we go. So we have a map of the world and where my DNA is from. So first, I am European, 99.5%. So all of Europe right there. For Northwestern European, I am 98% exactly. So Northwestern Europeans are represented by people from as far west as Ireland, and as far north as Norway, as far east as Finland, and as far south as France. These countries roam the North and Baltic Seas and have been connected throughout much of history by those waters. I said water weird. Okay, then we have the British and Irish, which I am 52.9%. So my DNA suggests that 59.2% of your ancestry is British and Irish. So I'm assuming, yeah, I know for a fact that the British is considering Northern Ireland, Wales, and Scotland, so all of this part of the UK. So the British Isles have been continuously occupied by humans for at least 11,000 years, but more recently the people of the Isles have left their genetic fingerprints around the world following centuries of nautical exploration, colonization, and immigration. In the early 20th century, the Republic of Ireland won its independence from the United Kingdom, where the people of these nations share a common genetic heritage rooted largely in Celtic, Anglo-Saxon, and Viking migrations from northwestern Europe. So then you get this. Now, when my grandma took the test, she got one of these for her German and French ancestry as well for recent locations. Now, I did not get that for my German and French ancestry. I only got it for my British and Irish. So in the last 200 years, your ancestors may have lived in the following locations. We found evidence of a recent ancestry in the following regions. Darker regions represent the place where you have DNA in common with more people who report ancestry from that particular region. Because these results reflect the ancestries of individuals currently in our reference database, expect to see your results change over time as the database grows. And that's with everything. Your percentages can change and so on. So for my United Kingdom, our number 1 is Greater London, 2, the West Midlands, 3, Glasgow City, so that's how I knew Scotland was counted in this. 4, we have Greater Manchester. 5, I'm going to pronounce this wrong, but I know it's on Vikings, and I think it's where like Newcastle is, but that is Tyne-and-Wear, not positive. 6 is West Yorkshire. 7 is Merseyside. 8 is Kent. 9 is Stoke-on-Trent. And 10 is Cumbria. So I've been lucky enough to actually go to some of these places before when I went to the UK, not knowing exactly where my family in the UK was from at the time. But I do really, really want to go back to the UK once I get my passport renewed. So for Ireland, we can click right here. So our number 1 for Ireland is County Mayo. County Dublin is number 2. Number 3 is County Cork. Number 4 is County Donegal. County 5 is County Galway. 6 is County Kerry. 7 is County Offaly. I don't know Gaelic, I'm sorry. Number 8 is County Wicklow. Number 9 is County Roscommon. And number 10 is County Kilkenny. I'm not positive on the pronunciation. So that is my Irish ancestry right there. So we can go back and then view my ancestry composition. I'm still getting used to this website, so my apologies if none of my clicking is perfect. So then I am 30.9% French and German, which I didn't expect that much. Now, I do know one of the last names of a second great-grandparent is a French last name, and it is from French Huguenots who came to South Carolina. And then I have German on both sides, paternal and maternal. So French and German people are descended from ancient Alpine and Celtic and Germanic populations and inhabit an area extending from the Netherlands to Austria, roughly corresponding to the extent of Charlemagne's Frankish kingdom in the Middle Ages. Estimates place Charlemagne himself in the family trees of all modern Europeans, possibly many times over. Genetically and geographically, the French and Germans are the heart of Europe. Now, I happen to Germany. I'm not exactly positive where my German ancestry was. I think in Rhineland, because as I said, my grandmother did take a test and did get her German locations, which was in Switzerland as well. So we do have that. I'm not going to read all this, but I am having it on here if you want to pause and read. So then we have this. There's Charlemagne, daughters of the king. I'm not sure what that is about, but you can see that there. Deutsch, Americana. I used to take German classes, but there we go. Divided by God and Gab. I'm not sure. I haven't really read any of this yet. And then say cheese, Swiss cheese. So that is the German in me. So we'll go back to the ancestry composition, or French and German, not just German. I really wish I had the regions. I'm pretty sure on the regions anyway, just from making family trees in the past, but still. So then I am 1% Scandinavian. So Scandinavians are represented by the people of Norway, Sweden, Denmark, and Iceland, and owe much of their linguistic genetic heritage to North Germanic tribes who established settlements around the North Sea during the late Middle Ages. Many Scandinavians, like the Sami people in the far north, are descendants of the early Scandinavian hunter-gatherers. In the United States, Scandinavian ancestry is most common in North Dakota. Yeah, in the Midwest, like Minnesota, why they're called the Minnesota Vikings. There's a lot of that. So again, y'all can just pause. I'm not going to read all this. You can get an Airbnb if you want. But yes, I expected some Scandinavian, but I was thinking it'd go back to the Vikings, and that is not the case. This DNA, I do not think goes back that far. But I'm going to say if you have English ancestry, then there's a good chance you have Scandinavian. So then for broadly Northwestern European, I got 13.2. So as you can see, that is what Northwestern Europe consists of, and we basically read the same thing right there. So now we're moving to Southern European, which is right there. I am 1.2%. Southern Europe, including the Iberian, Italian, and Balkan peninsulas, as well as the island of Malta, is a region defined in great part by the Mediterranean Sea. The Mediterranean has provided transportation routes, keeping these regions connected culturally and genetically. So I happened to Italy in the Mediterranean region, or in the Southern European region. So I am 1.1% Spanish and Portuguese. Now this was a bit of a shock, but I did go back to my family tree and I actually found on my maternal side that I had a great, I think it was like 8 times great grandmother who was from St. Augustine, Florida. And if you did not know, that was a Spanish settlement. I actually went to St. Augustine earlier this year. I don't think I vlogged, but we did go to St. Augustine. So, Elizabeth, your DNA suggests that 1.1% of your ancestry is Spanish and Portuguese. The genetic landscape of the Iberian Peninsula, represented today by the people of Spain and Portugal, was influenced by several Mediterranean civilizations, including 800 years of Arabic North African rule. Now, a small North African genetic signature is present in Iberian DNA, and over 8% of Spanish words carry Arabic origins. Conquistadors from Portugal and Spain colonized parts of Africa, Oceania, and the Americas, and DNA signatures of Iberian ancestry are now relatively common in people of Latin American descent. So again, you can just pause on this and read whatever you'd like. I have not been to Spain or Portugal. I would really like to go, but I have not had a chance yet, and again, I don't have a passport. Oh, that gave us kind of a sneak peek for what we're talking about later. So then for broadly Southern Europe, it's just a 0.1. Now, I'm not really sure what the broadly means. I don't know if that means it's not, they haven't identified what those small percentages are. I mean, for my Northwest, it's not that small. But if you know, could you please explain in the comments for me? So for broadly European, I am 0.3%. Okay, now we're going into the shockers. I said that on Reddit, and I really got attacked for saying that I was shocked by this stuff. Reddit has not been a good place for me personally when I post stuff. People often are keyboard warriors. I mean, I don't really get offended by it, but somebody said very vulgar stuff. So, yeah, as you can see, I have 0.3% Nigerian DNA. So it's likely I had a white passing ancestor going back to the 6 great-grandparents. So it could be any of them. I have not found out who yet. I don't know if I'll ever be able to find out who. But we can see right here, Elizabeth, your DNA suggests that 0.3% of your ancestry is Nigerian. Nigeria's population is the largest in Africa and one of the most diverse, with over 250 ethnic groups. The country's arid north is home to people of mostly Hausas and Fulani descent, while the Yoruba people are concentrated in the southwest. The Ijaw, I'm not sure if it's an L or it'd be an I, yeah. People in the tropical south, and the Igbo people in the southeast. As much as 2/3 of African American sub-Saharan DNA They trace back to Nigerian ancestors due to the disappropriate impact of the Atlantic slave trade on the people of the region. I know I really did not pronounce any of those words well. I haven't done a lot of research or anything on Nigeria in the past, and it was a real shock to see that I had, I know it's only 0.3%, and I was told I was being over dramatic for that, but I mean, I didn't expect that in my DNA, so I do think that it's interesting. So then we have Native American 0.1. Now, I did expect to have Native American DNA, and the reason for that is when I made my ancestry family tree, I got back, and a man married a poet. I'm just saying this word earlier. What Pocahontas was. One of the people in the tribe, a woman in that tribe. And I actually did a lot more research. And this man, he was Welsh, and he came in the British Army to Jamestown, and he married a Native American woman. So that is my guess on why I have this 0.1% of ancestry as Native Americans. So the first humans to reach the New World populated much of North, Central, and South America within just a few thousand years following their arrival from Northeast Asia around 15,000 years ago. Despite drastic population losses over the past 500 years as a result of exposure to Old World diseases and genocide at the hands of European colonizers, the genetic legacy of these early American trailblazers persists to this day, primarily in Central and South America. So again, you can pause and read, because I'm not going to go through all of it. So that was all of my DNA. We have this 0.1% unassigned, so they don't know yet. And then here's my timeline that I have a lot to say about. So this is how many generations ago was your most recent ancestor of each population. So for British and Irish, it says you most likely have a parent, grandparent, or great-grandparent who was 100% British and Irish. The person was likely born between 1910 and 1970. So then my French and German, you most likely had a grandparent, great-grandparent, or second great-grandparent who's 100% French and German. This person was likely born between 1880 and 1940. Now, Scandinavian, I can't find it anywhere in my tree. I don't know who the Scandinavian was. So you most likely had a third great-grandparent, fourth great-grandparent, fifth great-grandparent, or sixth great-grandparent who's 100% Scandinavian. This person was likely born between 1760 and 1850. The Nigerian, the real mystery here, says you most likely have a third great-grandparent, fourth great-grandparent, fifth or sixth or seventh great or greater grandparents who was 100% Nigerian. This person was likely born between 1730 and 1850. My Spanish and Portuguese is the same. And again, going back, and I found that great-grandmother who was from St. Augustine, and through her parents, or her great-grandparents were Spanish. So I was able to find that because they give us that what grandparent they may be. I think she was it may have been 7th or 8th. So then my Native American, you most likely have a fourth great-grandparent, fifth great-grandparent, sixth or seventh or greater grandparent who is 100% Native American. This person was likely born between 1730 and 1820. Again, I did go back. One of those exact numbers, I think it was, again, 7th or 8th, was the Native American woman that I told y'all about. So that is what I'm going to be showing y'all with my ancestry composition. Now, if you would like to see more stuff about ancestry and maybe how I did my family tree and stuff like that, let me know down below in the comments, because family history and genealogy and all is something that very much fascinates me. And I would like to do a video in the future of how I got into doing this kind of stuff. So as always, comment, rate, and subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow.